These are 20 things you didn't know about Rocket League. And first on the list, we have something crazy that I literally just found out myself. Flip resets were actually added to the game completely by accident when the Psyonix devs created this god-awful map by the name of Tokyo Underpass. While testing the map, the developers realized that it would be way better if you could still have your flip after driving off the ramps on the side of the map. So because of this, they added a feature that allowed you to retain your flip if you haven't used your jump yet. And fast forward over several years later, we have people hitting over 100 resets in a row.
97, 98, 99, 100. Oh my. What the f?
And to think that it all came from this monstrosity of a map is pretty hilarious. But what's even crazier is the fact that these maps like Tokyo Underpass were actually in regular competitive mode. Back when the game was still new, you could queue into 2v2 ranked matches and play on these horrendous maps against other players. And meanwhile today, you can only play these maps if you go into a private match, and some of them may still appear in the Rumble game mode. But imagine if these maps were never removed from ranked and even RLCS matches were held on them. That would definitely make for some pretty interesting moments. And many of you probably already know that Rocket League had a predecessor named Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cars, but what you might not know is that Rocket League was originally supposed to be called Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cars 2. Thankfully, Psyonix came to their senses and shortened it because that is just a horrible name. But what you also might not know is that the original game had a very small fan base, which meant Psyonix almost didn't even develop Rocket League due to financial struggles. But they eventually funded the game by creating other games such as Gears of War and Mass Effect 3. And luckily they took the risk and it definitely paid off. But what you might not have realized while playing Rocket League is the fact that the ball is absolutely massive. The ball is much bigger than any car in the game, and assuming that the cars are regular sized, then according to my calculations, the ball would be over 6 feet tall. So if you have a short friend and they ever try to come up to you, remind them that the Rocket League ball is taller than them. Another cool fact is that the first ever goal in Rocket League was actually scored by a bot named Chipper during internal playtests, a true legend. But that was way back in the year 2015, and now that we're in 2025, we have bots that can literally beat pro players, which is absolutely mind-blowing.
Don't seem to be too good for Seer. For the majority of kickoffs are quite good. Oh, what a fake, actually. I'll tell you what, if Seer's fake that's ridiculous. Look at Matty coming back here. There's no way. You know, ceiling pinch rebounds to this day. The air dribbling is fascinating. That's a flip reset 50 from Seer 2 there. The air dribbling is very interesting because they very much just force themselves into the ball. Look at this, they're up 3-1 now.
But what's more mind-blowing is the real-life value that some items in Rocket League have. And the most expensive item of them all is the white hat. This item was given to players who reported major game-breaking bugs, and some have sold it for thousands of dollars, and at one point was valued at $15,000. However, now that trading has been removed, these are basically worthless, but it still remains as one of the rarest items in the game. And yes, it's even rarer than alpha rewards. But another thing that you might not know is that there was almost a Rocket League movie. At one point, Psyonix explored the idea of creating a movie or animated series based around Rocket League. And while nothing came of it, who knows if it might still happen in the future. Would you watch a Rocket League movie? Comment down below and let me know what you think. But something crazy is that it's actually possible to become the ball in Rocket League. A player recently discovered that using Disable Goal Reset and Spike Rush can get you stuck inside of the ball, although there's not much else you can do once you do this. And believe it or not, Rocket League was actually not Psyonix's first car-based game. In fact, the first game they released where they experimented with car mechanics was Unreal Tournament 2004, which was actually a first-person shooter. However, did you know that the ball cam feature in Rocket League was almost removed from the game because early testers thought that it was disorienting? I mean, imagine queuing up in a ranked game and having to play like this without ball cam the entire time. You'd definitely end up with a migraine or something. And for those of you that like the map Neo Tokyo, it actually used to have animated billboards that changed mid-game, but they were unfortunately removed due to performance issues. But performance issues don't matter in RLCS because the first ever RLCS championship had a prize pool of only $55,000, which sounds like a lot, but compared to the largest Rocket League tournament prize pool, which was $6 million in RLCS 2021, $55,000 seems like only chump change. And overall, in the history of Rocket League, over $20 million has been given away in prize pools. Alright, but now let's take a look at some quick Rocket League facts. Number 1, the rating for the rank of Grand Champ used to be at 1515, but when the game went free to play, it was lowered to 1435. After this, a lot of Champ 3 players magically became Grand Champs. Number 2, Rocket League was almost made into a Battle Royale mode, but thankfully that idea was scrapped. Number 3, the first ever RLCS goal was scored by Lachinio in Season 1, and believe it or not, this goal is so ridiculously old that I couldn't even find any footage for it. And number 4, Rocket League's McLaren DLC includes realistic car engine sounds from the actual vehicle, so you basically own a real McLaren if you have the DLC. But now back to a more interesting fact. Players and modders have analyzed Rocket League's physics engine and found that the ball actually weighs 184 kilograms or 405 pounds. They included external factors such as gravity, car acceleration, and ball movement. And this is based on an assumption that Rocket League's gravity is about 70% of Earth's gravity. And I don't know how they came up with these facts, but that's pretty insane to think that the Rocket League ball weighs over 400 pounds. Which means that it weighs almost as much as your mother. Players on keyboard and mouse have figured out a way to infinitely wall dash using their scroll wheel, all by going into the game files and adding a second jump keybind, allowing them to wall dash quicker than humanly possible. Rocket League matches last a total of 5 minutes, but the average play time for one match is 5 minutes and 40 seconds. This includes goal replays, overtime, and more. Although the Rocket League ball appears to be perfectly sphere, claims have been made that due to the game's physics, it might actually be slightly oval shaped. This is due to inconsistent bounces where the ball doesn't always behave like a regular sphere. The community has even conducted their own experiments where they roll the ball and measure its bounces. The self-proclaimed Rocket League scientists say that the ball might have a slightly flattened shape at higher speeds. And those are 20 things you didn't know about Rocket League. I'm not sure what you're gonna do with all this information, but if you enjoyed the video, then leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this.